Hello everyone. I guess I am clearly audible and visible to everyone here. Am I audible and visible here? Cool. So, being a law student or being a law aspirant or even being a law professional, we often feel and we often aspire to go to the High Court, to practice in the High Court or to the Supreme Court and certain such higher levels. But every path, every success story, every another phase of the life, every another phase of a student's life, every another phase of a lawyer's life is different. And we should gear up for every other phase. But the case comes that either we learn it from the stories of other successful people or other persons in the profession itself, or we write our own story. Today, we have Advocate Jayant Bhatt, who's an independent lawyer based out of New Delhi, India. He holds a dual Master of Law (LLM) from New York University, USC, and National University of Singapore. His office caters to various clients comprising of governmental and non-governmental bodies, multinational financial institutions, and individuals in an array of matters ranging from white-collar crimes, financial fraud, anti-corruption frauds, and a lot of like this. His LinkedIn profile, if you're connected with him, he shares certain topics. He discusses about many problems faced by the interns in a very humorous manner, in a very complex. He discusses the complex issues in a very serious and a very easier way so that you can understand and you can connect with it and you can also learn with the same. So today I welcome Advocate Jayant Bhatt sir, and I would request him to take on the stage and throw some light on how we can start and how we can get up for to start up our as a high court lawyer. So,
Thank you, Parth, so much for having me on board. Three questions to the forum. One, if you can all see me, please have a thumbs up or show of hands. If you can hear me, thank you so much. So, we are back in, it reminds me of going back in the pandemic days. If I am visible, if I'm audible. And the third question I must always put, but at the end of the forum, is if I'm sensible, because the sensibility is always tested at the end of the discourse. Before I start, may I also request the participants to kindly have their videos on. It makes me a little more confident that I'm, not talking to myself. I'm very fond of my voice, but I'm talking to the people who have actually, joined in on a Saturday afternoon. And I am sure there are no marks for, putting your camera online or no negative deduction by the legal lock. I can see quite a few participants. Few of them have, I think, SueYouSoon, I can see a few faces. Right. Right, Parth. So before we commence, I think there was also a questionnaire which Varun had shared with me. I'm more than happy to go one by one with your questionnaire, and also ask the audience here to interject us, interrupt us, and throw their questions if they have any. And also, I would like to ask the audience which is the preferred mode of language. Are they comfortable in English? Are they okay with Hindi? Does it have to be a mix and match? What will be a more comfortable forum for the the audience here? I hope not everybody is on mute by the legal lock people. Can they unmute themselves if they have to ask something?
Yes,
yes, sir, they
they
can.
can.
Right. So between Varun and Path, you can ask the questions. It makes it more interactive. Then I'm happy to answer on those questions, and then we can also have some audience, question and answers to make it a little more fun and engaging.
Yes, sir. So, like, I would like to begin with the first question. Sir, being a law student, being in law college, we have often faced this thing that, okay, I want to do, I mean, first question that is often placed to us is that either you want to go for litigation or you want to go for corporate or what else. Because why this question comes up and why this question always hesitates, like sometimes confuse a law student, is that because every time we get an answer, it's like that, okay, litigation takes a lot of years and the district court has nothing to do. Courts, lawyers don't make money specifically. And it takes a long time for them to be actually be successful. So they often plan to think like, okay, let's go to high court. Let's try going for high court. So what is the difference in all these perspectives when it comes to high court and district court? Like I would like to begin with that.
Right. I think traditionally speaking, it's very unfortunate that people discriminate between different forums in the country. Yes, we have a three-tier system in the country, the highest being the Supreme Court of India, followed by the different high courts in every state, which are becomes the apex constitutional court in every state. And then we have various district courts. And district courts are divided into again two parts, civil and criminal. Then you also have taluka courts. You have Jilla and Kasba units, also the district courts in other bigger states, not so much in Delhi. So I think people who come from, let me say, a tier three or a tier four or a tier five city or a town or a small village, sometimes are already fighting a lot many battles within. And maybe for that purpose, they think perhaps if they would go to a higher forum like a high court or a fancier forum like a Supreme Court, that would make their life easier. बट आई थिंक जो यंग बच्चा होता है वो इस बात को भूल जाता है कि अगर आपको काम नहीं आता करना, चाहे किसी भी फोरम का हो, डजेंट मैटर इट्स हाई कोर्ट और सुप्रीम कोर्ट और ट्रायल कोर्ट, अगर आपको ये नहीं पता क्रिमिनल कोर्ट कैसे शुरू होता है या एक सिविल प्लेंट कैसे ड्राफ्ट होकर फाइल होती है या एक ट्राइब्यूनल में कैसे काम होता है, देन द बिगर क्वेश्चन दैट वन नीड्स टू आस्क वनसेल्फ इज कि आप हाई कोर्ट के जज को कैसे आप असिस्ट करेंगे व्हेन यू आर गोइंग टू हाई कोर्ट. And that is why many young lawyers get disillusioned when they directly start practicing in High Court or in Supreme Court. And let me give both the examples because I am practicing primarily in Delhi. दिल्ली में क्या होता है कि हमारा जो दिल्ली हाई कोर्ट है, and there are four high courts in the country. In the you have Delhi, you have Calcutta, you have Madras, and you have Bombay. जिसको पहले प्रेसिडेंसी टाउन कहते थे बिफोर इंडिपेंडेंस. तो वो चार अभी भी हमारे हाई कोर्ट्स हैं ऑल इंडिया जहाँ पे ओरिजिनल साइड एक्सेस करती है. तो जब मैं ओरिजिनल साइड कहता हूँ मतलब आप सिविल सूट ओरिजिनल साइड का यहाँ पे डाल सकते हैं. और जो दिल्ली हाई कोर्ट में अगर आपको सिविल सूट डालना हो तो उसकी वैल्यूएशन अब हो गई है 2 करोड़ या उससे ऊपर का. अगर कोई केस हो, आपका मुकदमा हो, तो आप सीधे आके दिल्ली हाई कोर्ट में सिविल सूट डाल सकते हैं. उसके नीचे का सिविल जज और डिस्ट्रिक्ट कोर्ट के जज देख लेंगे. आई थिंक हमारे डिस्ट्रिक्ट कोर्ट की पेक्यूनियरी जुरिसडिक्शन इज अबाउट 5 to 10 लाख रुपीस, और 10 लाख से लेके 2 करोड़ तक का फिर वो डिस्ट्रिक्ट जज, एडिशनल डिस्ट्रिक्ट जज और ये सब देख लेते हैं. कमर्शियल कोर्ट्स के जो पेक्यूनियरी जुरिसडिक्शन है हमारे हाई कोर्ट का वो 1 करोड़ रुपया है. उसके नीचे का डिस्ट्रिक्ट कोर्ट है. लेकिन अगर आप किसी और स्टेट को बिलोंग करते हैं, देन यू विल रियलाइज कि वहां पे सारे सिविल सूट नीचे डिस्ट्रिक्ट कोर्ट से ही शुरू होंगे, सिविल जज से ही शुरू होते हैं, डायरेक्ट हाई कोर्ट में नहीं जा सकते. तो फंडामेंटल क्वेश्चन ये बन जाता है कि एक तो आप कौन सी वकालत करना चाहते हो. आपको सिविल वकील बनना है, आपको क्रिमिनल वकील बनना है, आपको आर्बिट्रेशन का वकील बनना है, आपको कॉर्पोरेट वकील बनना है. तो फर्स्ट डिसाइड व्हाट टाइप ऑफ लॉयर यू वांट टू बी, बिकॉज इफ यू वांट टू गो टू एनी हाई कोर्ट, तो हाई कोर्ट में अगर आप जुडिशियल रोस्टर देखेंगे कि जजेस को कौन कौन से मैटर मार्क होते हैं, तो बहुत सारे वर्टिकल्स उसमें होते हैं. वहाँ पे टैक्स के भी केसेस हो रहे हैं, कमर्शियल मैटर्स भी हो रहे हैं, फैमिली कोर्ट्स के मैटर भी चल रहे हैं, क्रिमिनल के भी चल रहे हैं, ईडी भी चल रहा है, बहुत सारे हैं. तो पहले तो एज अ यंग प्रैक्टिशनर, अ यंग मेंबर एट द बार और अ यंग लॉ स्टूडेंट एस्पायरिंग टू बी लॉयर, माय रिक्वेस्ट टू द ऑडियंस वुड बी प्लीज डिसाइड योर फील्ड ऑफ लॉ विच entices you, which excites you, जिस पे आपका मन लगे, and then subsequently you can choose your forum.
Yes, sir. I totally agree with this. Like that. Okay, yeah, we need to decide with the field of law to begin with कि अपने को district से करना चाहिए या फिर हमको high court से करना. But one more thing that comes to, because I have done a few district court internships. So what I feel, or what all have been the discussion among the internship groups is that okay, there are a lot of cases in district court, but they're not, means they are quite tougher stage. They are at a tougher stage, and at high court it becomes easy to make money and it becomes easy to actually practice as a lawyer. So what? How do you take that?
आई थिंक मिसनॉमर है। पहले लोग ऐसा बड़ा लगता था, सी व्हेन यू कम इनटू प्रैक्टिस, ऐसे कई वकीलों के नाम होंगे जो शायद आप लोगों ने ना सुने हो, और फिर आपको पता चलता है ट्रायल कोर्ट में प्रैक्टिस कर करके भी इंसान मर्सिडीज खरीद सकता है, वो कोई बहुत बड़ी बात नहीं है। आपको अगर यही लगता है कि सिर्फ एक सुप्रीम कोर्ट का इंसान BMW मर्सिडीज खरीद सकता है, एंड आई मस्ट ब्रेक इट टू द फोरम कि यू आर ऑल मिस इन्फॉर्म्ड। आप सुप्रीम कोर्ट में एवरेज नंबर ऑफ वकीलों की गिनती देख लीजिए और कितने मर्सिडीज चला रहे हैं उसका रेशियो निकाल लीजिए। लेकिन अगर आपकी एक अच्छी हाई कोर्ट या ट्रायल कोर्ट की प्रैक्टिस हो जाए तो वहां पे भी आप एक बढ़िया गाड़ी, एक बढ़िया घर, अपना बंगला ले सकते हैं। तो आई डोंट थिंक यू मस्ट इन योर माइंड रेस्ट्रिक्ट योरसेल्फ कि अगर मैं इस पर्टिकुलर फोरम का वकील बनूंगा तो मेरे पास पैसे ज्यादा आएंगे। हाँ, ये जो एक आम धारणा एक आम आदमी के दिमाग में हो सकती है कि यार अगर डिस्ट्रिक्ट कोर्ट के वकील हैं तो लोग अपनी इमेज कैसे क्रिएट करते हैं कि मान लीजिए किसी ने टीवी देखा, तो टीवी में आजकल एक नेटफ्लिक्स में एक शो आया था, मामला लीगल है, और फिर आपने वो देखा होगा जॉली LLB 1 और 2। तो मैं ये नहीं कह रहा वकील ऐसे नहीं होते, वकालत खासकर ऐसे ही होती है अगर आप कचहरी की वकालत देखें। लेकिन उसमें लोग अपनी एक धारणा कर देते हैं कि यार ये वकील है तो ये 200 रुपये में काम कर लेगा या 1000 रुपये में काम कर लेगा। बट मैं नहीं कह रहा 200 रुपये कम होते हैं, 1000 रुपये ज्यादा होते हैं, या आपको लाख रुपए फीस चार्ज करनी है। आई एम ऑन द पॉइंट कि जो भी पैसा आप अपने क्लाइंट से लेते हैं, दैट हैज टू बी कन्वर्टेड इनटू अ गुड सर्विस। नाउ दैट गुड सर्विस कैन बी गिवन एट एनी स्टेज, इट कैन बी अ ट्रायल कोर्ट, इट कैन बी हाई कोर्ट, इट कैन बी सुप्रीम कोर्ट। Not every lawyer in Supreme Court is charging in lakhs, and not every lawyer in trial court is charging in thousands. It depends on your core competency, how good you are as a practitioner, and how much of a client following and client trust have you gathered over a years. और आपने शुरुआत में एक अच्छी बात रखी, बात कि लोगों को आज जल्दबाजी बहुत है। तो people think that okay, litigation is a very long drawn process and it takes a lot of time, but यार टाइम किसमें नहीं लगता। आप अगर अपने आप से सवाल करें, जितने बच्चे यहाँ पे पढ़ रहे हैं, आई एम अज्यूमिंग दैट सम ऑफ यू मे बी लॉ स्टूडेंट्स, तो आप जिन्हें जो लॉ स्कूल का इम्तिहान दिया, एंड दिस इज माय क्वेश्चन जनरली टू एवरीवन इन द ऑडियंस, तो जब आप क्लास 1 में पढ़ रहे थे तो आपने सीधे लॉ स्कूल में आप आ गए थे, या क्लास 12 तक का आपने सफर पूरा तय किया फिर लॉ स्कूल में आए? तो अगर इसका आंसर आपके पास है तो इसकी फ्लिप साइड ऑफ द आर्ग्यूमेंट वुड बी कि जब आप वकालत शुरू करते हैं और आप लॉ स्कूल में आते हैं तो आप सीधे तो 5th ईयर में आ नहीं सकते, आपको फर्स्ट ईयर में आना पड़ेगा। बार काउंसिल ऑफ इंडिया के सारे 5 साल के जो कोर्सेज उन्होंने डिजाइन किए आपके लिए सेमेस्टर वाइज, वो क्लियर करने पड़ेंगे, एंड देन यू कैन गेट योर LLB डिग्री, एंड इवेंचुअली यू कैन बिकम अ लॉयर बाय एनरोलिंग योरसेल्फ विद द कंसर्न बार काउंसिल। और यही धीरे धीरे होता है। सो टू बिकम अ लॉयर, इफ इट हैज टेकन यू 24 years ऑफ योर लाइफ, लेट्स से 20 और 24 years एवरेज में उसको कर रहा हूँ, तो अगले 20 साल तो कहीं नहीं गए ना, टू अंडरस्टैंड द प्रोसेस ऑफ लॉ। Even senior lawyers that I encounter who are senior to me in the bar, there's a lot to learn. People who have spent 50 years, 60 years, 70 years in the profession, people who are in their 80s and 90s coming regularly to the courts. When I see them, I feel enthused, and they are like my mentors and my guiding lights कि भाई जिस इंसान ने 50 साल 60 साल कचहरी की वकालत कर ली और मेरे तो अभी सिर्फ 17 साल हुए, आई एम अ वेरी यंग बी कंपेयर टू देम, तो व्हाट इज माय रश? तो रश नहीं करना आपको, क्योंकि लॉ इज नॉट गोइंग टू गो अवे, द सिस्टम ऑफ द जुडिशरी इज नॉट गोइंग टू गो अवे, द ह्यूमन प्रॉब्लम्स आर नॉट गोइंग टू गो अवे। तो जब चाहे आप आज की डेट में उसको साइबर क्राइम का वर्ड दे दो या आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस कह दो या धोखाधड़ी कह दो, न्यू लॉज अक्रॉस द वर्ल्ड, अक्रॉस द कंट्री आर ऑलवेज गोइंग टू बी फॉर्मुलेटेड, और उसके हिसाब से एज अ लॉयर यू ऑलवेज हैव टू अपग्रेड योरसेल्फ। तो कोई जल्दबाजी नहीं है। आज जो चैलेंजेस हैं वो हो सकता है 20 साल के बाद ना आए, 20 साल में कोई और नया कानून निकल के आए। So the judiciary is not going anywhere. The legal practice is not going anywhere. So far as the matter of making money is concerned, if you are good, the money will follow you. I think I can see Varun raising his hand.
Thank you, sir. Sir, I think there are certain participants who doesn't understand English. Can we keep it in English, sir?
Yes, yes, that is perfectly fine with me.
Thanks.
So continuing the same conversation, like continuing your same word, uh, there comes a word hurry and there comes a word rush, that okay, we need to excel in our list. And see, when we come to know that okay, these lawyers are some renowned ones, we often ignore the ones who are still struggling in their phase, even being so like being in the profession for so many years, many are still struggling, and we often ignore them. So from your perspective, how do you believe that uh, as a law student, how should we start with? Should we start with district courts specifically, or should we start with high courts and everything?
In a lighter way, I'll give you an example. I was shown this reel today morning by my wife, and there was a young American chap who said that the millennials, I think the young people are called millennials, right? So the millennials seems to be aging faster than the people who were born in the 80s and 90s. So I'm a 80s kid.
Yes.
And 80s and 90s kid normally look younger because in my time, it was fun and frolic. We would go out in the evening, play with our friends. At best, I think video games and the TV were already there, so we would come and but the time was rationed. So we did not have a FOMO. We would interact more with human beings around us. But I think with your generation, there is a lot of FOMO. So even a younger person in their late teens or early 20s, they look much older. One, because I don't know why this whole fear or the sphere of anxiety has been created. It is unnecessary because a person today who is, let's say, in the late teenage or early teenage wants to be a stockbroker, wants to start investing in SIP, which is not wrong. But please understand this: as the human civilization is progressing, the quality of life and the longevity of life is also extending. So, 50 years ago, if the average lifespan was, let's say, 60 years or 45 years, today, average lifespan is about 75, 80 years. And if everything goes fine and we don't encounter another pandemic in the future or any other deadly virus breakout, then I would assume that the longevity of life would be easily 100 years across the countries. Now, if that is the case, even if you accomplish, let's say, something today at the start of your career and you get burned out, is that better? Or is taking the pace of the profession and enjoying the whole process, is that better? So that is the fundamental question that one has to ask, to oneself, what is good for them, what is eventually going to work for you. You may be engaged by a best law firm today in the country, and I'm not speaking against law firms, but that law firm may put you in a dispute stream, which is, let's say, because the topic is high court litigation, is engaging you only for big ticket matters in a high court litigation on the arbitration side or criminal side or whatever, type of litigation that comes its way. And you are burning the midnight oil. And I know people personally who are my age, younger than me, elder than me, who come back at home at about 4 in the morning or are sleeping in the office because there is a lot of burden. There are deadlines to be met, but their income is not going up. Please understand this. So the money that you're making has nothing to do with your mental health or your physical health, right? So even if you're working in the office, if you're working for a client, and if you're only hungry for a burger, and if I give you 10 burgers to eat, can you consume the other nine if your stomach is, filled with one? The logical answer would be no. But if you are an anxious eater, if you're eating out of stress, you may perhaps go for two burgers, three burgers at most. But if you consume all the 10, you are going to fall sick. So similarly, a good cushy job is not bad because having money, is not a taboo. You must have money in your pocket for a comfortable life. But law is a very slow process. If a client is exerting pressure on you, if your seniors in a firm or in an office are exerting pressure on you, do not succumb to pressure. One case does not make or break your career. That is a misnomer in the society. कि एक बड़ा case आएगा तो we'll become a Ram Jethmalani or we'll become a Salve. That doesn't happen. Everybody who has made a name in the profession has been there for a continuous amount of time. Even a pro bono case will teach you so many tricks in the trade that perhaps a high profile case may not teach you. So you have to involve yourself intellectually on a daily basis, and you have to evolve again on a daily basis as a lawyer, as an individual, as a human being, to to be in sync with this process of law. I think that is very important.
That actually becomes like one of the greatest insight that yes, we need to evolve every day. We need to involve with law. We need to engage with law and understand and learn the tricks of the trade. And either being at the district level or being at any other level, or even I guess we can get it done even while doing internships, different internships. We can actually learn a lot of things, and that actually plays a very crucial role when it comes to uh, choosing a career or like shaping like how are we going to proceed with it. So another question comes to the face then like let's see if we'll go with district code because like we need to learn with the process, we need to understand the process. So as per your thing, what do you think that how from where should we start with? Should we start it from where we are residing, or should we start with from somewhere else? Like should we go for domicile registration, or like from where?
Right. Before I answer you, I think one of your participants have raised the hand. Should we take the question?
Yes, I think.
May I, sir?
Yes, sir. Please.
Very good afternoon, first of all, Jain sir. This is for the second or third time I am hearing you. Uh, it's a good opportunity for me to hear you. In the past time, I heard you in a lockdown session with GIA Judicial Academy, and this is third time I think I am hearing you. I have a question about deficiency of services in the education system because the thing which are taught in law colleges are totally different and contrary when the student comes into practice. So it gets more difficult after you're spanning your 4 to 5 years of time in college life, and then after you need to go through the whole procedural work, which is totally indifferent from the thing which you have been taught in a school. So some of the other thing, I think there are deficiency in services from education part as well. So what are your views on it? Whether there should be some changes need to be bring about in these reforms?
Right. So, Nimeshji, first of all, thank you. I think for suffering me for the third time in a row, and it is very kind of you, to be a part of the audience gathering. So, my gratitude to you. It's an important question, but the simple answer to this is that the society and the civilization are always ever changing. So, what I think the lawyers were taught 50 years ago, and the lawyers which were taught at my time and your time, and the lawyers which are going to go to law school 10, 20 years down the line are again going to face the same problem. And let me give you a simple illustration. So, till 30th of June or by the end of this month, the education that I have been given was taught to me in law school, and in practice, I studied about IPC, evidence, CRPC, and suddenly it's going to be a
It has
RKNAS,
changed.
this and that. So, I'm not saying the law is changing or the society is changing, but the terminology of a particular statute, it's going to go on its head. So that means that learning is a ongoing process. So a student who is in a 3-year law program or a 5-year law program, the simple thing is that the students have to raise these concerns with the academia, with their professors, with their dean, with the vice chancellor, whosoever the power authority is, and then raise a collective voice. And this is my appeal to all the law students across the country, to the Bar Council of India, that the Bar Council of
Correct.
India, of course, need to reformulate themselves, repackage themselves, so the person whose family is putting so much money in a tuition fees in a college, must be able to get relevant legal education. That is point number one. Point number two is the continuing legal education program, which I think even our profession is lacking, should be introduced semester wise to law schools, and
Correct.
then should be taken on both by the state bar councils and the bar associations of the court. Because so many young lawyers, when they graduate, one, they are grappling with one, how to get a good office or a good law chamber. Then the second problem becomes, because there is a deficiency in knowledge, as you rightly pointed out, how to plug in those gaps. So some online webinars, because we are living in a age of digitization. We today cannot take a plea that we do not know how to digitize ourselves, especially in India. So my point is that the bar councils, the law schools, the academia, and most of the national schools, if I may say so, whose patrons are the chief justice of that particular state high court, must endeavor to espouse this cause that a continuing legal education should become mandatory for young lawyers who have entered the bar, and especially for the first 4 years. So that's, say, a new cyber fraud or a white collar crime or an issue like a GDPR, issue like deepfakes, etc. is emerging. They can assist their clients, their seniors, the judges who they are going to encounter in the court, so that they do not feel underconfident. So I think all the stakeholders, it's not just a problem of the academia, it's the problem of the people who are from that academia, are graduating as lawyers, and the same lawyers who are then becoming the judges. So if there is a lacuna in the education of one, it's going to impact everybody.
Correct, sir.
Thank you, Nimesh. So continuing with your answer, and like I would like to add a few things to it. How I take this thing is that okay, our education system is often like what we say, it's brought into question that okay, why aren't we teaching those practical skills? But I guess I guess the colleges therein is a platform where we teach the basics. I guess the procedure is taught, the law is taught, that what all the things you have. But alongside this, I guess the bar councils have like, and the colleges themselves often provide with the facilities of several internships. I guess the tier 3 and tier 2 colleges often don't provide that thing at much greater scale as they should be. But yes, I guess the colleges are providing that thing, which often gives you an insight of inside the code, how things are practiced. Because me being coming from like, if I'll say this, I have done my what to say, I have done my graduation from Guru Nanak Dev University regional campus. It's in Jalandhar. So it often lacked, means it lacked these some sort of facilities. But yes, I was fortunate to get into district court internships. So from there, I got, means one of our lawyers taught us that when he asked that, okay, what is the procedure of filing an FIR or how to do this? So we weren't able to answer that particular question. So he said that, okay, you need not to worry. Once you get into the code, you will get to learn with the procedure. You will get to learn the procedure. Everything cannot be crammed, and I guess some things, certain things get into our minds or get into the process once you get into the process, or once we engage ourselves into that thing. So I guess when it comes to learning, or when it comes to application of our learnings, the internships play a crucial role, and sometimes we need to get it done or grab it independently. But sometimes the colleges provide it. But yes, the colleges should be making some efforts to providing some more practical internships from their side. I guess if sir agrees with this.
Yes, I think also just to add on to the point that you have made, the moment you're doing an internship with an established practitioner, and if you have gotten a good rapport with that particular practitioner, you must encourage them and then also provide yourself as a bridge between your faculty and the practitioner to come as a guest faculty. So especially in smaller towns and cities, I don't know why is there this underconfidence or the tone of underconfidence amongst law students of inviting seasoned lawyers and judges to come and give a lecture. A 1 hour lecture or a half an hour lecture with a great Q&A or a fireside chat would do great amount of benefit to the law students. See, you must also understand the other problem with the academia is that there is always a huge gap in a country. People who are teaching, unfortunately, have not been to courts, and people who are in courts either don't know how to teach or don't come to teach.
Yes.
The bridge has to be drawn somewhere for the benefit of the students. And I don't think a good judge or a good lawyer who wants to educate or wants to empower the society, wants to mentor young minds, would mind coming to a college for a half an hour or an hour of a lecture either during the evening after the courts are over or during the weekend. And the students must also make some concession, for these things. That yes, somebody has come, we must listen to them, learn, and so must the faculty also. So I think some sort of a pragmatic approach has to be developed for the students not to feel out of sorts and for the law schools not to feel outdated in today's day and age. I think that's the main challenge that I think the students are facing in the country.
Very well, I mean, that's correct, I guess, because it's some on the side of the colleges themselves, which they themselves they feel underconfident that okay, I guess it seems like that they are not competent enough to invite such good guests for the session there. So, I guess this underconfidence itself brings up to another question, that they often fail to teach their students that what they should be equipped with when when the students are aiming high. Especially when I say this, then I say that I have been around many students, and I have so many friends who want to start their career as a high court lawyer, but they don't know that what all they should be equipped with, what they should know, the mannerisms, the ethics, the I guess the pleading style, what the high court actually requires. So I would request you to put some light on that.
Right. Let me give you an illustration. Just because in Delhi High Court the vacations are going on, and I had a bail matter in the vacation before the same judge who was hearing Mr. Kejriwal's bail plea. And incidentally, in my FIR also, the Lieutenant Governor had ordered a lodging of the FIR and the inquiry for my client. And the public prosecutor on the other side was my junior from the law school. So he started shouting and I started shouting, and we were both arguing. So we are at loggerheads. And suddenly the High Court judge lost his school and like, both of you need training. Should I send you back to get trained? And and then I apologized to the court. I said, my apology to have breached the decorum of the court, but that was not my intent. I'm a defense lawyer. It's my bail. I have to be heard. And my learned friend, the public prosecutor, is, just going hammer and tongs on me. So my, suggestion to every young lawyer before you start on your own is to get a good mentor. Please get a good senior. Try to get a good chamber with a high court lawyer who is a seasoned high court lawyer who you think has good amount of practice, good amount of clientele, from where you can learn the ropes of the profession. I think that is very important, and that is the starting point for any young student. Even when I started my career, I was looking for law offices where I can be a fit. So you have to first identify which city or which particular high court you would like to, be seen in. If you want to be in Delhi, is Delhi High Court your forum? If you want to have a little more commercial flavor, would you like to go to Bombay? If you are based out of Calcutta, would Calcutta High Court be the right forum, because West Bengal is a big state, Maharashtra is a big state. So you have to identify. And also the other advantage of big states is that they have benches of high courts. In Maharashtra, I think you have Nagpur and Aurangabad as the high court benches. If you are from UP, you have Lucknow bench. If you are from Rajasthan, you have the Jaipur bench. Jodhpur is the main high court where it seats. If you are in Madhya Pradesh, you have Indore and Gwalior. So identify your city, identify which high court or the branch of high court, and which legal chamber you would like to be associated with. And I think that would make it a good starting point for many students. I think Varun has raised his hand.
Yes, sir. So there has been a very common question which I really want if you can address.
Ji,
To tell the students what is the difference between the High Court and the bench. Like for example, in UP you have Allahabad High Court and Lucknow is the bench.
right.
So if you can just put a light on what is the difference between the High Court and the bench.
So practically speaking, the thing is, every big state, because of the geography involved, it becomes difficult for a litigant, especially a litigant who is coming all the way from a kasbah or from a district and has to make an appeal. So sometimes zone wise, High Court also starts setting up its benches. So if Allahabad, is the main high court, then it will also set up a bench in Lucknow. There's a lot of agitation going on for the past 15, 20 years, I think in the eastern UP side, especially by the lawyers of Meerut, to also set up a bench, in Meerut. So every weekend, I think there is a strike for the past 15, 20 years, but the Allahabad High Court has not budged. So the idea is, one, to bifurcate, your work, appoint the number of judges in your bench, make it easy for the public to have access to justice. That is the mandate of creating benches of different high courts, because for any big state, otherwise it will be administrative nightmare and a judicial nightmare also. That if every case starts coming, for example, I'll give you the example of Delhi. Now Delhi is a union territory, right? And when I started my practice, we only had two blocks. One was a civil block, one was a criminal block. Now in these 17 years of my practice, there is also commercial block. So during my lifetime, there are three blocks, and there are more district courts that I've seen, which means as the population is growing, the demand of litigation, unfortunately, is also cropping up. With the demand of the litigation, again, you will need more judges, more courts, more people with expertise knowledge. So that is, again, as I said, you may choose any high court of your choice, but choose the vertical, which vertical you want to practice in. And that will help you. Doesn't matter if you're in a bench, doesn't matter if you're in the main high court. You have to build a practice, you have to build a clientele, and you have to build a repute. That will only happen with time.
Thank you, sir.
So with this, another question pops in my head, that uh, does the internship with any good chamber, internship with any good office, makes the way easier for practice in high court or not?
See, I will say yes and no. And let me first answer yes, and then I'll answer the no. Yes, depending on what phase of life you are in. So let's say if you're a first year student going to a chamber of a very celebrated lawyer, but you have not studied the basics of law. You have only studied history, geography, legal ethics, or whatever they teach, contracts and torts in the first year. And then 5 years after, you decide to practice in high court, and for the next 4 years, let's say you have not done any internship, it's of no use. But if you have done regular good internships in your 3 years or 5 years of law school, you have made yourself realize that, okay, litigation is something I want to pursue as a career. And then your senior under whom you intern have also given you a push in the right direction. It makes your life easier. I said no, because if you don't want to do any internship, or if you only think that by doing an internship in a good chamber, you will become a good lawyer, I think, my friend, you're mistaken. Because law as a profession is going to humble you. You know, you will go as a young gun, you will think, I'm the best lawyer that there is to be, I'm the most smartest of the lot, I know case laws on my fingertips, and the judge is going to pin you down like this. So be humble, be respectful, both to yourself and to the institution that you are addressing, because there are so many other lawyers who are much smarter than you. And you must go as a learner. You must go with a bent of mind that you have to learn from the other person, without cowering and without compromising your self-respect. I think that is the basic mantra to be a successful lawyer. Don't start your day one that I am the best high court lawyer, or I'm only going to be a Supreme Court lawyer. Go with the mindset that yes, I am a lawyer, but I'm a law student for life. I have to learn. If I don't know something, don't be ashamed. If the judge asks you a question to which you don't know answer, take time, take an adjournment, but don't give a wrong answer, because then you are building an ill repute. I think Varun has a question.
Yeah, thank you, sir. So the question came or like out of sudden after listening to this particular answer. So usually in high courts, what I have seen while doing internships, that sometimes junior lawyers come against the senior lawyers. Sometimes senior most lawyers also, where they have either interned or they have been, following them from a very long time. How to tackle that mental pressure? Because as a first time lawyer, first generation lawyer who is, trying to build up a repute in high court, has to face, say, any big name against them in any particular case. How to overcome that particular fear and pressure?
See, it's like a cricket match. If you are the first time selection and if you have to bowl at Sachin Tendulkar or Mahendra Singh Dhoni or Virat Kohli, you'll obviously be scared because you have revered them. Similarly, in our profession, let's say if today you come to court and you are facing Mr. Sibbal, Mr. Salve, Mr. Rodgi, all the big names, Mr. KK Venugopal, anybody, don't be afraid. Why are you afraid? They have earned their reputation because of their hard work. They are not grabbing you by the collar and saying that you can't argue. They are not stopping you to argue. Be ready with your file, be ready with your facts, and fight for your client. You don't have to be unapologetic, but at the same time, you don't have to be condescending. You have to be respectful, both to the judge, both to the senior. Put your point across and then leave it to the judge. Your fear must not show on your face, sir. That is very important. हवाइयाँ नहीं उड़नी चाहिए, इसको कहते हैं.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. I mean, I guess yes. The confidence actually matters when it comes to the high court specifically, because I guess in district court the things are very loose. That okay, yeah, everyone has a good connect with each other, with the judges themselves, with all the process. They're quite loose. But when it comes to high court, I feel that it's more rigid, and the confidence actually matters when it because there you face some great lawyers and everything like that. So with this, when we talk of confidence, another point comes that is the communication. How good should we at it, and how can we practice it? Does mood court play a good role when it comes to building confidence in court? And what how can we like do that? How can we practice that?
I think moot courts is the easiest part in law school because you are given time to prepare. You have judges who are willing to hear you for half an hour, 1 hour. But in an actual court, judges don't have too much of time. So that becomes a question. But having said that, look, I would not say moot court is the only thing to improve. You must be a voracious reader. You must read everything from newspapers to fiction to non-fiction to legal digest. Because as a lawyer, your role is to know about as many things as possible. Tomorrow any client can walk through the door. It can be a carpenter, it can be an engineer, it can be an architect, it can be a doctor, it can be an actor, it can be a sports person. But if you do not have knowledge of a particular domain, when a client is sitting across you, then it's going to hit you hard. And what is going to hit you harder doesn't matter whatever forum you're representing in, be it district court, high court, or Supreme Court. If the judge asks you a relevant question about, your legal issues and the factual analysis, and you don't have an answer, then you're embarrassed. So to build that confidence, stop yourself from the embarrassment and work as hard as possible by reading as much as possible. A moot court or a debate is just one leg of the co-curricular activities that you're going to execute at a law school level. But if you don't read newspapers regularly, you don't know what is happening in the society. If you don't read fictions, if you don't read books, and if you're only doing a TikTok or a reel throughout, you're going to have a tough time in the court because the gentleman or the lady who is presiding on the bench or who is going to oppose you, the only way they can prove that they are a smarter lawyer than you if they are much more well read than you are. So there are, no two ways about not reading enough. You have to read as much as possible on a given day.
Sir, I think there is a message in the chat box. Should I read?
Haji.
Sir, I think there is a message in the chat box. Should I read?
Haji.
Sir, I think there is a message in the chat box. Should I read? Sir, I think there is a message in the chat box. Should I read? The big name have big impression upon judges, and in the end, judges gave favorable order to the big names. How to cope up with this stigma being a newcomer in the field? That's a question has been posted by Mr. Zubair.
Okay, so I think it's a good question by Mr. Zubair. See, the thing is, other party may engage the senior once, but what are the chances that senior is going to appear against you in every matter that you fight? And what are the chances that the judge is only going to go in their favor? Eventually, it also matters how strong the merits of your case are. How strong can you yourself represent your client? As I said, the senior perhaps may get a notice or a stay, perhaps may get a bail. You can always challenge it. Depends on the facts and circumstances. I'm not saying just because a very well reputed senior walks through the door is going to win the cases. I don't think the judiciary works that way. Yes, if let's say the two of us have studied together and you appear before me 20 years down the line, I am going to obviously give you 10 minutes more, just out of a basic courtesy, not because I'm going to extend you favors. you know so sometimes that camaraderie is seen in the court, and the senior who is going before the judge, please understand, has already spent 20, 30, 40 odd years in the bar. So they are only commanding respect, they are not commanding a outcome of the matter. So to give a bold allegation that just because a senior is appearing and they have a order in their favor, that doesn't work that way. Point number two, you'll also see that certain times in a big ticket matter, there are seniors appearing from both the sides. Then what does the judge do? The judge still has to hear both the seniors, right? Or a team of seniors. So that's not how the profession works. Profession works on balances. To balance your merit, you have to work hard at it.
So there is another question from Lokpal. He asked that, can you please elaborate some convincing skill improvements?
I think Lokpal Saab, it's a nice pseudonym, but I just answered this question in the previous sect, where I said you have to read voraciously. I'll give you my example, if that helps your case. Every day I read about 7 newspapers. Two of them are local Hindi newspapers, three of them are English dailies, two of them are business papers. And it is my ritual because I have. Besides this, I obviously read online news. Then I read SEC online. Then I read SEC Digest hard copy. Then I read Delhi Law Times. Then I read my own case files. Then I read fictions. I read non-fictions. And I talk to people. I do these webinars. I interact with people. So, what applies to me applies to you if you're a lawyer. So these are the basic tips and tricks. Also, if you can maintain a writing journal, it helps sometimes. If you have a simmering thought, if you're in a pensive mood, maintain a diary, write your thoughts in it. It will give you an edge over others in terms of holding your thoughts, improving your writing skills, perhaps practicing on your grammar, all those things. Even if you're a law student, sir, you can still read newspapers, you can still read SCC, you can still read DLT. There is no bar. न्यूज़पेपर 1.5 रुपए का आता है, आप पढ़ सकते हो, कोई इतना महंगा नहीं होता, सबसे सस्ती चीज है और सबसे ज्यादा आपको ज्ञान देती है. So being a law student cannot be an excuse that I cannot read newspapers. All my interns come to me, I tell them the same thing. If tomorrow you have to compete with me in a court of law, you better be much more prepared than I am. मुझे कोई जबरदस्ती मेरा क्लाइंट नहीं कहता कि सर आप 7 अखबार पढ़ो या 10 अखबार पढ़ो, मेरी मर्जी है इसलिए मैं पढ़ता हूँ.
I guess that's the perfect answer to this question. Sir, in the previous question, you mentioned about balances in the judiciary. So there are balances in the judiciary, but now I would like to proceed to the next phase of this conversation, where we actually go for the balances in the perspectives. So I'll be putting a few questions before you, and I would like you to like what you can say balance it out.
ये
Firstly, the
थोड़ा
question is
कॉफी विद करंट टाइप है आपका, कोई हैम्पर वैम्पर रेडी है कि नहीं हमारे लिए?
for sure, sir, for sure, sir. I will try to give it to you.
जी.
So the first question is that if we have to choose, just the question, district court or high court?
Both, I would say. I can't choose between one because I practice across forum. देखिए, to be fair, I'll give you an illustration. I don't know आप में से कितने लोग दिल्ली में से हैं, but if you're a Delhi based lawyer, तो Delhi is a union territory. It's a small city. And if you see India Gate, so India Gate mein we have a Patiala House, we have a High Court, and we have the Supreme Court in the same Gol Chakkar. And then we have different tribunals in the same Gol Chakkar. So it makes our life easier as a lawyer. If a client comes to me, so I can maintain my calendar and I can still go to courts.
Yes.
I have learned the ropes of the profession in district court, but I have worked with seniors who have tremendous practice and goodwill in High Court and in Supreme Court. And yes, there are ups and downs in the profession, but to a young law student, I always say, please start from the district court because that will give you a great foundation in terms of understanding on how a case is born, built, and executed. And then you can learn your appellate side in any high court in the country.
For sure, sir. Uh, with this thing, the question comes when we come to case filing and or the execution. Another question comes up that what is more important when it comes to arguing, when it comes to preparation, the law or the fact?
I think facts are very important. Sometimes, as young practitioner, we are too hell bent on citations and judgments, and that is fine. But please understand, especially when I'm speaking of 2024, we are all digitally connected. Even judges, lawyers, public prosecutors, whosoever it may be, is connected to this bar and bench, live law, NDTV, what all news. You have this app called, which gives news citation. I'm forgetting the name of this app. It gives you
In
news
short,
in shorts app. So many of my associates and interns have these in short app also, and they keep scrolling it to get legal updates and news updates. That is fine, you know what is happening. But to know your facts, the judge, when you are appearing before a judge, the first thing that you need to convince of a judge is that your merit or the facts of the case are strong enough. The law chapter comes later. The judge is going to apply the law onto the facts. आपको facts ही नहीं पता अपने केस के, आप citation बोलते रहोगे, the judge will get angry at you. And that is what happens to a young lawyer. Many times they will cite two lines of a fact and then say, my lords, I'm giving this citation, that citation. And the judge is like, wait, I am the judge, I can make a new law. So you first satisfy me on the facts. So please know your facts inside out, because facts are the most complicated things in a case. If your facts are not sorted, if you cannot convincingly tell a judge a good story which is believable, तो वो आपको केस लॉ साइड करने का टाइम ही नहीं देगा.
Okay, sir. So, moving forward, another question: what is better, going forward with litigation or going for corporate this
Yeah, I have
corporate
gone
law?
forward in litigation, so that is my answer. I started my career with a law firm, and then I went to High Court and Supreme Court and went to District Court. So मेरे तो reverse cycle रही है. So I have a huge bias towards disputes and courts. And luckily that has worked for me, because my friends in the corporate now refer me matters. है ना, तो अच्छी बात है. So no complaints there. I would say go for disputes hands down. I think money will come eventually.
Okay, sir. So again, when it comes to the dispute, what should we go for with criminal litigation or civil litigation?
That is purely a matter of choice. I enjoy doing criminal litigation, but civil litigation उसके साथ साथ आई जाती है. And at the end of the day, as lawyers, you have to rely on logic and common sense, and you have to solve people's problem, right? They have come to you with a legal query, and law is not rocket science. तो आप ये सोचो कि मैं criminal करके civil नहीं कर सकता, या मैं civil करके criminal नहीं कर सकता. That's again is an impediment in your mind. तो आप अपने मस्तिष्क में जितने गति अवरोधक रखेंगे, if you create too many hurdles in your mind, you're never going to succeed. But yes, if you want to start your career, I would say do a mix of things for the first 4 to 6 years, and then decide, now do I need to branch off towards commercial, criminal, civil, white collar, whatever, be your calling.
Cool, sir. These were just the question. I guess you very well answered them, and I guess the insight might be helpful. It will be helpful for all the students out there who are listening to him. I would request any of the participants to, if they have any quick question to do, ask sir. All those who have asked, if they want to ask another question, and anyone if they have any query, because I guess we have discussed a lot of things, and we have just not been limited to yes, Iqbal Mohammed.
Uh, since we are a first generation lawyer and no connections whatsoever, either in I begin even getting
Sir, you are
connections.
not clearly audible, sir.
Oh,
Iqbal Mohammed.
May I, sir?
I think Mr. Iqbal Mohammed was trying to say something, but his signal was breaking. Yes, Nimesh ji, please.
Sir, can you guide us on advocate on record? How to appear for advocate on the record examination, or what are the procedures?
Sir, I'm the wrong person, because I'm not a AOR. I have never aspired to be one. I would say please
Okay,
Google the answer, find IOR. Normally, the basic criteria is 4 + 1 years of practice, 4 years as a general practitioner, and 1 year with the AOR to be eligible to sit for these AOR
okay,
exams. And in Supreme
correct.
Court, every summer holiday of Supreme Court, there are senior advocates who come and give classes to the people who have enrolled for the exams, and they teach them I think free of cost, if I'm not wrong. So you can always log on to the Supreme Court website or the Supreme Court Bar Association website and speak to any advocate on record there on how to go about preparing for this exam. I think they would be the right person to point you in the right direction.
Sure, sir. Thank you.
Mr. Iqbal, you may write down your query in the chat box. We can address it.
So since I guess there is no another query to us, I would just like to conclude the particular session. Okay, Ms. Salva has another query, please.
Sir, as you stated about the original jurisdiction, so can you elaborate on original jurisdiction? Because when we go to file our cases before Honorable High Court, some or the other time we get confused about the jurisdiction purpose. So how one can find out about a particular original jurisdiction, the area comes into it?
So which state are you from? Which city, sir?
From Mumbai, sir, Maharashtra.
आपका तो रीजनल साइड होगा हाई कोर्ट में.
हाँ सर.
सो उसमें आई थिंक बॉम्बे हाई कोर्ट ऑल्सो हैज अ पेक्यूनियर जुरिसडिक्शन. आपका भी कमर्शियल साइड ओरिजिनल का 2 करोड़ 1 करोड़ रुपया बंधा हुआ है टू माय नॉलेज.
नहीं सर, बना हुआ है, पर अगर स्टार्टिंग में कोई बंदा जा रहा है, फ्रेशली अपीयर्ड एडवोकेट है या न्यूली एडवोकेट है, जा रहा है, तो वो बंदा वो की चीज को कैसा टैकल करेगा?
नहीं नहीं, बड़ा सिंपल है. फॉर एग्जांपल मान लीजिए अगर आपके पास कोई क्लाइंट आता है, कहता है जी मेरा सिविल सूट है, मुझे फाइल करना है, या
करेक्ट.
डेक्लेरेटरी सूट है, या सूट फॉर पार्टीशन है, कोई भी हो सकता है. तो अगर उसकी वैल्यू मान लीजिए 5 करोड़ की है, तो उसका जो पेक्यूनियर जुरिसडिक्शन होगा आपका हाई कोर्ट का बनेगा, नीचे के कोर्ट का नहीं बनेगा. तो वैल्यू उस हिसाब से करनी पड़ती है, क्योंकि उसके साथ साथ कोर्ट फीस भी कंप्यूट होती है ना. सिविल सूट के साथ कोर्ट फीस भी जाती है. जब आप डैमेजेस क्लेम करते हैं सूट्स में, प्रेयर में, तो कोर्ट फीस आपको देनी पड़ती है. कि अगर 2 करोड़ का बनाएंगे तो 2 लाख रुपए जाएगी, 5 करोड़ का बनाएंगे तो 5-6 लाख रुपए कोर्ट फीस जाएगी, 50 करोड़ का केस होगा तो उतने लाख की रुपए की फीस जाती है. तो वो सब देखना पड़ता है आपका. ये अपना कोर्ट का, ये कोर्ट स्टैम्प एक्ट वगैरह वैल्यूएशन एक्ट है, वो आप देखिए, वो आपको उसके बारे में बताएगा. और ये जो आप अपने हाईकोर्ट की वेबसाइट में जाएंगे, उसमें ऑलरेडी दिया होगा कि ऑन आर ओरिजिनल साइट इतने अमाउंट से ज्यादा का आप केस यहाँ पे डायरेक्ट दाखिल कर सकते हो. तो आजकल तो एज आई सेड एवरीथिंग इज डिजिटाइज, सब कोर्ट में इन्फॉर्मेशन दी हुई है.
बराबर. थैंक यू.
आपके कमेंट से
Sir, I think,
क्या हुआ है?
sir, I think we have one more query from Miss or Mrs. Urvashi Manwani. She stated like, sir, if I want to go for a teaching assistant, so it's possible after the law graduation. So what we need to complete after the law graduation and go for career in law teaching in the university?
I think, madam, normally, as far as my limited knowledge goes, to be a faculty member, वो कम से कम normally तो PhD मांगते हैं. Or even if you have done a course in masters in law, they consider you, as a faculty. Or then to become a director or a dean or a, I think, lecturer, वो PhD is a basic requirement. Again, I would say most of these websites of law school have a career section. और उस career section में qualification दी रहती है, because every law school may have a different qualification for them to absorb a pressure. और क्योंकि you are a law student, I would say please speak to your faculty directly. They would be the right person to guide you how you can become a good faculty, और आपको कौन सा फील्ड चूज करना चाहिए और किस किस ईयर को आप पढ़ा पाएंगे. फर्स्ट ईयर को पढ़ाना है कि फिफ्थ ईयर को पढ़ाना है, कौन सा आपने लॉ कोर्स करना है, इमीडिएटली पढ़ाना चाहिए कि नहीं पढ़ाना चाहिए. माई लिमिटेड अंडरस्टैंडिंग इज, इफ यू वांट टू बी अ गुड टीचर, प्लीज कंप्लीट योर एजुकेशन, प्लीज प्रैक्टिस फॉर सम इयर्स एंड देन गो बैक एंड टीच इन लॉ स्कूल्स. अदरवाइज यू विल गेट रैग्ड फ्रॉम द स्टूडेंट्स. जैसे अभी आप अपनी फैकल्टी की रैगिंग करते हो, कि आपकी रैगिंग हो जाएगी उल्टी.
So, see, no further query on the floor. I guess I should be concluding this session. So, just what we have to discuss, I guess we have to discuss a lot of things. How should we go for high tech? Should we go or not? What all should be prepared of it? What confidence matters? How networking matters? How we should be placing our arguments? I guess we have discussed everything, and Jayant Bhatt sir has very well described everything, his experience, his journey actually showcases us that, okay, yes, things can be done in this way and everything can be sorted. It's all about perspective. It's all what again comes. It's all in our minds. Should we go for this way or should we go for high growth? It's all your choice. It's how competent or how confident. So I guess, sir, I would just like to give a quick brief about what we do. I guess if you allow us.
Please.
So the things you just mentioned of confidence and of these learnings, uh, uh, the legal outcome. We'll be taking this thing. Sir, if you want to answer this for this story right now, you may. Then I can.
So I think the question says, what is your view on LLM course? Yeah, you must do it if you think you're academically inclined. And I think it's a great course for intellectual churning and development. I don't think any education is worthless. I think education is a very crucial weapon uh, if put in the right direction, both for yourself and for the progress of the society. But please decide your course, because LLM is just a degree. What specialization you want to do in your masters is also very important. When I did my masters, I chose my courses very carefully. So I would encourage you, whatever masters you want to do. There are 4 C's that I list for people, especially if they're looking for a foreign LLM, is or even a national LLM. Choose the city that you want to be in. If you're going for international master, I would say choose a country, then choose a college, and then choose a course. So these 4 C's must be sorted out for your masters. Once you have decided, it will make your life easy.
I guess query solves this. Answer solve the query. So yes, continuing with the words, the legal log actually aims at providing or the as many skills as possible we can teach to the students, and with these kind of webinars, with these kind of sessions, we aim at serving to the students, specifically to the ones who come from tier 2, tier 3, or from the lower end, that who don't have this access of such high knowledge or guidance from effective side. For these sort of things, we often conduct several webinars, sessions, boot camps. We often organize national and international competitions. We have completed 3 editions of national moot court competition. We often conducted in the month of May itself. So, and we have got some esteemed judges there, as I guess Honorable Justice Vinith Kothari sir, as one of the panel members of the panel judges. We have got a few many. I don't remember the names right now. But yes, we have. What I can say, we have posted. And right now also, we are also coming, we have announced our international board competition. We are doing it for the first time. So yes, we with our platform, with all these activities, with all these what we say events and organizations, we often try to provide as much as possible facility and services we can do it for the society, for the students, so that they can learn, they can be better in their law life. They can better when it comes to lawyering. So I would, that's it about legal law. I would request sir to just give it to these closing remarks. Then we'll
I think it was again great, interacting with so many participants here. Some wonderful queries, and I just hope that I could, answer them satisfactorily. And even otherwise, I don't claim that I have all the answers, and but I can always point you in the right direction, to the person who can answer your questions. If that helps, that should all assist us in moving in the right direction. And before we, sign off for the evening, and the mandate of the session was high court practice. So I would end it with a कबीर का दोहा. इनफैक्ट रहीम जी का दोहा था वो. तो वो ये कहते हैं कि रहीमन खड़ा बाजार में मांगे सबकी खैर, ना काहू से दोस्ती ना काहू से बैर. So as a lawyer, don't make enemies, don't befriend too many. Just maintain your own balance and equilibrium, and have your equanimity intact. I think that is very important.
thank you so much, sir, for this amazing site, for this session, and especially for accepting our offer to be here and guiding everybody on this particular topic. I guess the students might have learned a lot. And with this, I request, thank you so. I just say thank you so much to everybody for being a part of it and for being part.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your time. I know it's Saturday evening and you usually prefer to keep it free, but thank you so much, sir. And participants, please fill the feedback form to attain the certificate. The link has
Parth,
been
sir.
shared in the link has been shared in the chat box. So please. Yeah.
Hello, Parth,
Yes,
sir.
Nimish. Yes.
Yes, yes.
So it was a wonderful session. I have heard our honorable guest speaker for second or third time, I guess. Third time I'm hearing him. I think, sir, again, it's an request from our side that again you should engage him for another guest lecture on cross examinations of evidences, so that we can learn more about it in deep, in detail
Okay,
perspectives.
for sure. Your query has been noted. For sure.
We are obliged, sir, to have such a eminent speaker with us. Thank you, sir.
To all the participants, like I mentioned in the mail, that we have a surprise element for all the attendees there, and I guess there are a few left right now. So yes, the thing is that you might be aware that we have brought a 3-week period course on mooting, which deals with research, drafting, and oral readings. And the third module of the particular course deals with the perspective of assessment. Where we'll be providing you with one of those, what we say, a mood problem, and you'll be engaging with it. You will be drafting it, and you'll be presenting it, and on the basis of that, we'll give you a review of it, and we'll guide. Along with this, what you all will get with us, all those who will enroll for the course, is that you will get a 4-month mentorship from our side for any of the upcoming mood court competition if you're participating. So yes, if you guys want to participate if you guys want to enroll for the same, the earlier offer price was rupees 549, but right now for all the attendees, we have made it down to 399 only for the attendees. But for to be eligible to get your clearance at rupees 399, we'll be giving you a certificate, and in the form, when you pay rupees 399, you'll have to attach your certificate of attendance in the particular form while enrolling for the motive course. And just to give a quick brief about the course, the moot court course has been a tried and tested one. It has been prepared by many mooters who have won the best mooter thing, who have won the mooter competition, and a lot of titles. So yes, it will be a guiding star for all of you who want to either who want to like pass out with the intra moot court competition or the selection round, or want to go for the national or the international moot course. So yes, you can enroll for the same at rupees 79, which earlier price was 549. Furthermore, just to give a quick what we say a reminder that the Legal Off is also organizing its first international motor competition. I would request you to be a part of it, to enroll for it and experience some great learning and moving experience, because we have been doing it from past 3 to 4 years, and we have engaged some great guests there. So yeah, it will be a good platform for you to learn and to experience moving and to be a part of it. I request you all. So I guess with this, all of you, I assume that all of you have filled up the form, the attendance form. The certificates will be issued within like 2 business days. And thank you for being a part of it. You guys.
Thank you so much, participants.
Thank you, sir.